How's it going, everybody? It's Jay from Firebird Films here, and I'm here to give you 7 reasons why you should watch The Flash Season 1. Recently came out on Netflix, and I watched it as it was on the CW, and I gotta tell you, this show is awesome. You probably remember my review, or no, you probably don't remember my review of the first half of Season 1. I was gonna do a Season 1 Part 2 review, but I figured why not just give you these 7 reasons and be off quicker. Reason number 1. The characters, especially our lead. Grant Gustin plays the Flash perfectly. He has the heart, the wit, the excitement. He is the Flash, and he is Barry Allen. And Barry Allen is one of the most relatable superheroes, not just in the comics, but now on television, thankfully. You relate to this guy, you understand where he's coming from, and he's just a blast to watch. He's so damn likable. Who's also likable is his side-casted characters, his team, basically. Let's start off with Cisco Ramon, played by Carlos Valdez. You may know him from the comics as Vibe, but here he's just Cisco. And he's great. He's the comic relief, but they show that he's not just comic relief. He's a human being, too, so it worked for me. Plus, he makes references to movies like almost every week, and that's perfect because, look at that. I'm a big movie guy. So those little jokes are just, they work. They're great. Caitlin Snow is his other assistant, and she's like the female lead of the show. Her and another character, Iris. But they also show that she has a lot of depth too. She is in a lot of ways the heart of the team, and she brings a lot. Her and Cisco, they're behind the scenes making it all work. They're a great team, her and Cisco, and Danielle Panabaker is very attractive. Let's move on to some of Barry's family. Let's start off with Joe West, played by Jesse Martin. He was on Law & Order for a while. I never really watched it that much. I just remember my mom watching it. But when I saw him, I was like, hey, I remember that guy. But Joe West is such a great character. And he wasn't in the comics. This is something that the show came up with. But he is really great. He has his great moments of funny banter, and he plays like the father figure to Barry, and those scenes, just some of those scenes that are so heartfelt. We'll get on to that later. Let's start off with let's not start off. Let's go to the other father figure, Henry Allen. Henry Allen is played by the original Flash from the 90s television show, John Wesley Shipp, and he's just fantastic. We'll get to these scenes later. I just want to say John Wesley Shipp is awesome. Now, some people had a problem with Iris in this show, but really, I didn't think she was that bad. She definitely got better as Season 1 progressed, and in Season 2, in this first episode, I was like, wow, Iris is awesome. I really like her. She's a really likable character. And those are the leads that really go into Season 2. One more I have to talk about is the very interesting and probably the most fascinating character on the show, Harrison Wells, played by Tom Cavanagh. Tom Cavanagh is a terrific actor, and this character is just the coolest. He's so interesting. Every single episode when you see this guy, it's like, oh, I want to learn more about him. And yeah, it's crazy. He's awesome. Tom Cavanagh, I want to see him in more movies than just the Yogi Bear. Reason number 2, it is very faithful to the comics. Unlike Arrow, where a lot of people didn't like how it wasn't very faithful to the comics, this show is completely faithful to the comics. There are even, parts that seem like they're ripped straight out of the comic book. And it's awesome. There's little references. Comic book fans that love The Flash, love its mythos, are going to love this show. If you haven't watched it yet, what have you been doing? Seriously, though, it's like all of his powers are there. Everything Jeff Johns is a writer on the show, and he's also a writer in the comics, so that explains that, but it's just so well written overall as a show. It's not just a good comic book show, it's a good TV show. Reason number 3, the villain. The villain on the show is awesome. One of the best television villains ever. I love the Reverse Flash. In the comics, I liked him, but here, he was just so clever, and, you didn't see him coming. He was always not just one step ahead of the game, he was multiple steps ahead of the game. He was just, you understood where he was coming from in a lot of ways, too, but he knew how to get himself out of situations and everything, and, he's one of the best kind of villains. He's one of those villains where you can see where they're coming from, and they're relatable in a way, but they're also intimidating, and they have this presence that just, whenever they show up, you're just like, oh shit. Those are the best kind of villains. Reverse Flash is no exception. He is one of the biggest reasons to watch the show. Number 4, it's not dark and gritty and depressing. However, it does have some darker elements because it's like real life in a way. Okay, no, the Flash is not like real life. There's a guy that runs the speed of light or whatever. But what this show does so well is it makes the characters feel like people, like I said before. This is a good show, not just a good comic book show. And this proves that because, you know, the characters, like, they've been through a lot, but how they deal with it and how the humor is applied into each episode, it feels natural. It feels like something that you'd see in real life, just how the characters interact and everything. And it's funny, and it's fun to watch, and that it just works perfectly. The tone is very well balanced. It knows what it is, but it also knows when to take things seriously. A lot like the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Specifically, Captain America the Winter Soldier and I'd say the first Iron Man movie and the first Avengers movie. You know, it knew when to take itself seriously, and it knew when to just have fun. Number 5, the action is freaking awesome. Now, obviously I'm going to sound like a fanboy here being all like, oh my god, the action's so cool, he uses all of his powers and explosions, and yeah, but it works here because they balance everything out so well, like I said, with the tone, because you get these really great emotional scenes that you look forward to, and then you get these cool weekly action scenes to go with it. How is that not, like, perfect? But not only that, they're memorable, and they are a huge treat for comic book fans, because this show brought us characters to the screen that I thought I would never see. Firestorm? I never thought I'd see Firestorm in live action. I was kind of like, he's kind of a goofy villain. Maybe the Nuclear Man from Superman 4 was the closest thing we'll ever get to Firestorm because he's also called the Nuclear Man.
Where is the woman?
Give it up, you'll never find her.
If you will not tell me, I will hurt people.
I was very wrong, and I'm happy I am, because Robbie Amell as Ronnie Raymond in Firestorm and Victor Garber as Martin Stein, fantastic. I mean, they both interacted so well together, and they were very integral to the Season 1 story. They fit right in. It all just was very well balanced out, and I really liked them there. They had screen presence that were fun to watch. You really liked the characters. And let's move on to emotions and character development, which is reason number 6. This show will make you cry. It's the feels. The main story is that Barry's mom died when he was a little kid, and he saw what was this blur of lightning, this man in a yellow suit. And so the rest of his life, he's just like, his dad goes to prison for the murder, and he's just left with that pain where it's like, oh my god, my dad will never get out of prison because I'm never going to find this guy, but I will do everything I can to find him. And as that unfolds, it's super emotional. Every single character has something that's just bringing them back, hurting them. And when that's explored, and it's done so well because you have such likable characters, it works really well. It's just, these scenes, I mean, sometimes I wanted to cry. I was serious. Like, I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, oh man, you just gotta watch it. Number 7, the last reason, on the edge of your seat excitement. This story just leaves you in complete suspense from episode 9 to episode 23. Because you just want to see it unfold each week. You're like, come on, you're getting this bit closer to that unfolding of everything, and it's just like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see this unfold. Luckily, if you watch it on Netflix, you don't have to worry about waiting 6 to 9 months for that to happen. But I mean, you're not going to want to stop watching because this story is so intriguing. It's a mystery thriller with superheroes and science action stuff. Best synopsis ever. So yeah, those are my 7 reasons why I think you should watch The Flash. If you don't, well, this video is pointless. But anyway, if it wasn't, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Do whatever floats your boat. So long.